Hello, hello. It's Coach Miley with mytrainer.com. That's MAI, trainer.com. And today I am going to be talking to us about macronutrients. So this is a topic that I've kind of shied away from here and there lately in the last few years, just because, honestly, because of the kind of the emotional side of it and my concerns. So what I'm going to go ahead and do also is share some of the things that I want you to consider when you're looking at your macronutrients. So I was hoping that maybe I would be able to share this live stream to my other pages while we're live, just to bring more people on it. So let me double check and see if I can do that from my phone, because it won't let me do it from my computer. Yes. So I'm going to share it in two places. The first place I'm going to share this is into our group, My Trainer 365 community. We have that group is a private group, and you get all kind of extra support along with like PDFs and nutrition breakdowns, lots of free information that you can access into that group. So I'm going to post it there. And then I'm also going to post this to my personal page, and then we'll get started. So, unless my phone freezes. All right. Okay. So the group is the main concern. And again, I'm just sharing, if you guys just popped on, to get more people on this live stream. And if you like the topic, then you can share it too, and we can get some more viewers. Okay. So I've got it into my personal page now also. So again, I'm Miley with mytrainer.com. And today I especially wanted to talk to ladies today, but I know that I have some men watching. So this can also, you can do the same formula for yourself, but right now I have a lot of female clients, and they're asking me a lot of questions, and there's been some confusing little moments here and there. So the first kind of thing that I wanted to address is like the weight loss issue. So I've I said at the beginning, shied away a little bit from doing weight loss coaching and calling it weight loss coaching. I've definitely been helping clients with weight loss, but I haven't wanted to call it that. And part of the reason I don't like to call it that is because I just don't even really care how much you weigh or what your body fat percentage is, as long as it's in a healthy place. So some things that I'm concerned about women getting caught up with is dropping the calories down too low and for extended periods of time. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey with my weight, and really it all just depends on like what the activity is that I'm doing. So one thing I think that is hard for me to remember is that while I may have all of this ability to break down my numbers and know exactly what to do, sometimes I forget that other people don't have that same idea. So you guys will see my weight fluctuate between 135 pounds to like 160, a little bit more pounds, any given year or two. You guys will see it go up and down depending on the training I'm doing. So back in 2015, when I first started Olympic lifting, I was about the same weight that I am now. So I've got some muscle mass on me. I've got I'm about 160 pounds, depends on the day, 158 to 165. So first off, ladies, I wanted to let you know that my body weight fluctuates up to 5 pounds any given week. And if it's like, I call it girl time, that's the hard part too. So girls, like even almost sometimes 2 weeks out of the month, your weight might be fluctuating just with what time of the month you're on. Sorry guys who are watching this. And then of course other things like water and salt and like all of that stuff. But just your cycle can throw you off 5 pounds or so. So after 2015, I had an injury to my back, and I just really wanted to take a step back from the heavier lifting I was doing. And so I did decide to like play with some intermittent fasting and play with some lower calorie levels. And those days were that was right around 2017 to 2018 or so. And that's also when I made like over 600 different videos. And my goal, which I think is important for you all to know, in my weight loss is that I wanted my body weight to kind of go from a low point where you guys saw my stretching videos and like my body weight videos, and that was when my weight was at about 138, 40 was when I started filming those. And so I gradually let my weight increase, and then I also started producing different videos like exercise bands, stability balls, the weights, and then you guys start to see me pick up like the heavier weights again, especially this last year. So it's been this last year where I'm looking a little bit more stout. I've got some muscle mass, and so for me personally, I really like to stay right around the weight that I'm at now, like this 160, okay? So when I start to talk to you about weight loss, a lot of times what's hard for me is that women will have lower numbers than that in their mind. And some ladies will start off at like 140 pounds and they want to get it even lower, or they'll even be like 140 pounds and be in a really healthy body fat place, but then still want to be a little bit lower. So that's kind of where I'm coming from when I'm thinking about all of this stuff, is just what I'm doing versus what you're doing, and wanting you to understand that like what you see me do may not be what you need to do, okay? And I completely understand that. So one of my clients this week checked in with her doctor, and I always want you to check in with your doctor because I always want them to be totally aware of like what is going on. So I had recommended that I didn't want her to go below 1,500, and this is what I always say to ladies. So any lady that's ever heard me talk to them is going to remember this, hopefully, that for ladies, what I want you to do is stay at least at 1,500 calories, because I'm assuming that you're going to be active. So if you're in my world and you're in my trainer, I'm expecting you to exercise 2 to 3 days a week for at least 20 minutes. I would like you to start exercising every day and get those exercise minutes up as much as possible. And they could start as little as like 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm assuming that you're going to start at around the lowest would be 1,500 calories, because I'm assuming that you're active, up into 1,800, depending on how active that you are and all the other factors combined. And so I want to just also reestablish and say to you that my nutrition background is such that I'm not a registered dietitian, but I have taught nutrition and sports nutrition, and physical education classes of that nature in general health since 2004, actually the summer of 2013, okay? And I did teach for almost 10 years, 9 years at the junior college level for personal training and all those sorts of classes. So, and then I have a nutrition cert, precision nutrition. I'm a level 1, you could be a level 2. So I'm coming from that place also, just to be clear. So my client went to her doctor and let them know the ranges. I told her 1,800. I really thought 1,800 would be good for her, and we set a weight loss goal of 2 pounds a week for the next 6 weeks. And I thought for her, she could hit that with her activity level and the training that she's doing, because it's high intensity. It's going to be Olympic lifting stuff. It's going to be strength training. It's going to be cycling, some cycling, other types of cardio. And so my hope was 1,800 calories for her, was what I thought would be reasonable, no lower than 1,500. So she went to her doctor, and then her doctor told her that she thought it was too much. And so that's kind of what's kind of sparked this video, because I would like for you, if you're a client of mine, to be able to kind of process some of this information, because your doctor or a registered dietitian is probably going to tell you that 1,200 calories to 1,500 calories might be where you want to be. And that's totally cool, and I respect that. But at the same time, there's some other things I want you to look at, and I want you to talk to them about and see what they think, or just play around with it and see if it works, okay? Because I would recommend that every couple weeks you check in with where you are with your body composition, as long as it doesn't make you kind of feel worse about the whole situation. So I apologize ahead of time if this is a little bit of a rambly video, but I wanted to kind of let you know the breakdown. So I'm going to stand up and kind of show you my chart. If you were taking sports nutrition with me or anything else in the past, you may have seen this before. Hi guys, ladies. So hopefully that you can see on this side a popular split for macronutrients if you're talking to a bodybuilder or any of the mainstream stuff right now. So macronutrients, what those are considered are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, all right? And so if I want you to be between, as a woman, 1,500 calories to 1,800 calories, we want to look at like what percentage of your day of those calories is going to be protein, carbs, or fat, right? So a popular split would be 40% of those calories to be protein, 20% fat, and then 40% carbs. Okay, so those are my calculations, is just on a popular split. And I'll also put a picture of this down in the comment section so that you can see a little bit more clear of a picture if it's not coming through on the video. But the good ranges, it doesn't have to be 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat, right? It could be anything between 20 and 40% protein, 30 and 50% carbs, 20 and 30% fats. And so these aren't like my magical numbers, but they're a mix of the different numbers that I have seen from anything from like the American Heart Association recommendations to bodybuilding recommendations. You're going to see these kind of ranges. So what I want you to know is that it doesn't have to be the most popular split, right? It doesn't have to be that way, especially if your activity level or your enjoyment level is kind of weighing a little bit. Like I like my fat levels, because I do a lot of healthy fats, to be higher than 20%, okay? So we have your ranges, we have your calorie levels, and so what I did is I took 40% of 1,500 calories and I took 40% of 1,800 calories, and I got 600 calories and 720, okay? So that's 40% of those two numbers. Now, when you want to figure out the protein grams, there's 4 grams of protein. There's 4 calories, there's 4 calories in each gram of protein. So what I did to get your gram numbers was took the 600 and the 720 and divided it by 4. And so I got 150 grams to 180 grams of protein. So that's going to be what you see a common recommendation might be if you're doing 40% of your calories from protein. But again, you could change it, okay? So I do kind of want to stop right there because protein is one of the things that I look at most first. Actually, I should not say most, but first, okay? Because I want to know what your minimum number is that you're getting. So when you give me your 3-day food journal, what I'm going to look for is I want to see that you're hitting these minimum numbers, okay? So if you're a common weight that of a woman that I work with is between about 150 pounds and 200 pounds, right? So that's my example. So I just gave you pretty big numbers for protein, right? 150 to 180. That's not necessary. It's not necessary for weight loss. It's just what's common and what you might see with recipes and things. But what I'm really concerned with is whether you're at least getting 55 grams. If you weigh 50 pounds, I want you to be at least getting 55 grams to exist, okay? And if you're 200 pounds, I want you to be getting at least 72 grams just so you can exist. And this is not including being active, all right? So the way I got that number was the standard recommendation for protein levels. It's not my recommendation. Is you take your body weight, so 150 pounds, 200 pounds, you divide it by 2.2 to get your weight in kilograms. So the standard recommendation is at least 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram that you weigh, okay? So the way I got these numbers was that formula, 150 and 200 pounds divided by 2.2, and then a 1.8 grams per kilogram is how I got that, all right? But that's not the recommendation for, that's not the general recommendation for active women, right? So if you are going to be exercising, which I hope, if you're listening to me, my trainer, is that I'm looking to see if it's 70 to 90. So those are my first. That's just so you can exist, so I know what lecture to give you. But what I want to see at least, though, is 70 to 90. So I could care less if you get 150 to 180. I really don't care at all. But I'm going to look for this number. So what I want you to be able to do is just play around with what's best for you. Okay? So that's the protein spiel. A common split here, at least this much for your day. Okay? So all of this stuff, I also want you to remember that your needs must consider like your weight, your activity level, plus your enjoyment. All right? So when I give you these calorie ranges, I'm also considering how much you weigh when we go into it, but that's kind of a lot for here to do that whole thing for everyone. So again, the next one I wanted you to look, let's look at carbs next, since it's the same way to break it down. I took 40% of 1500 and 1800, and I got that 150 to 180 again, and there also is 4 calories per gram in a carbohydrate. So again, I divided this number by 4 to get this and this. Okay, so your carbohydrates, that's a common level to be in, is that 40%. And again, it could be higher than that. Okay, I don't really have like a fear of carbohydrates at all. The only thing is that it's just got calories, right? So it depends on like where the calories are at. Now for your fat, I really do want you to maybe have these be your minimum ranges. Like I don't really want to see you dipping your fat down below 20%. And the reason for that is because that your brain and your nervous system really needs healthy fats to be able to do what they need to do. And then you also need healthy fats to be able to absorb the phytonutrients, like the cancer-fighting stuff from your fruits and vegetables. You really need healthy fats for that. Okay, so those vegetable sources, or like olive oils and things. So how I got this though is fat's a little bit different. There's 9 calories in each gram of fat. So instead of taking, I got the 20% of 1500 calories and 1800 calories, but then I divided that number by 9. So your fat grams 33 to 40. Okay, so I would like to be able to answer your questions. So if you have any, you can put them below. But then also remind you that there is no magic split. I've told you the popular split. I've told you the good ranges. But then what I want you to do is be able to figure out for yourself. I lost my books. Sit on books. I want you to be able to figure out for yourself like what feels best. Okay? Had to take a breath. So I honestly don't believe that it's necessary. I don't honestly believe that it's necessary for you to only eat 1200 calories or to eat less than 1500. Maybe if you want to eat 1400 or something like that, like what I want to hope to reiterate to you that is that none of this is an exact science. It's a science, but there's not a very good way to exactly measure how many calories you're actually getting, because some of the stuff's not accurate. So I don't want you to get too crazy hung up on like what the numbers are, but we can take a look at it, okay? The main concern I have is that you're eating real food. And by real food, I mean fruits and vegetables and whole grains and lean cuts of meats. Like we can play around with like the types of foods that you're choosing for your carbs and proteins and fats. We can, like, I'll want to take a look at that. But this is just kind of like the big picture. If you want to start looking further at what you're doing, then there are a lot of tools that can help you. So my clients and I like to use MyFitnessPal. Like you could be I'm on MyFitnessPal and you could be my friend on there. That's one way to do it. And then also like my app has a way to do tracking also. One thing I wanted to share with you, if I can get my app to pull up, I might just show it to you. So the app is gonna, like once, there, You just push the button. Hopefully it's going to pop open for me. It takes a little while to think. My phone's getting old. So once you go in there, you can log your nutrition for me, but then also, like, I will have added nutrition plans for you. So I've got like an example, let's see, 222 calories. That's my trainer's personal pattern. Like, that's my personal pattern. Like, I'm above this. I'm not doing 1,800 calories. I'm doing at least 2,200 or more, right? But then every client also gets like healthy breakfast, dinner, and lunch ideas. So let's just hit one of those. Being a nerd. And so it just goes through a list of like different ideas for breakfast. And then I also have that for lunch and dinners. Okay. So not only do you get your own personal pattern, you'll get also some ideas too. Okay. So what I wanted to let you know is that if you are interested in seeing the app itself and figuring out what might be a good start for you, what I wanted to do is open up the healthy eating patterns, the breakfast, lunches, dinners, and snacks. I want to go ahead and invite you to the app for free. So if you would like to use the app and see it and just like open it up and see what it might be like to have me coach you through that system, then I will send you, all you need to do is send me your email address. So you could send me a message in the comments and then I'll message you, or you can just message me and then I can send you a link and get you all set up with access, okay? And I can also give you like a free example workout, because I do have some free examples for you to look at that way too, okay? So let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for hanging out. And these are the My Trainer macronutrients for women. I'll see you guys later. Bye.